Please subscribe.
The 2020 Kia Sportage is a conservative hybrid SUV with energetic looks and solid turbo control. More current adversaries give it savage challenge, be that as it may. For its great quality, discretionary turbo power, and energetic moves as its name infers, we give it 5.8 out of 10 by and large. The Sportage was refreshed for 2020 with a lively-looking S-trim, new headlights, wheels, an updated front and back guard, and increasingly standard gear including a 8.0-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity. The 2020 Sportage is offered in LX, S, X, and SX trim levels. The styling changes to the Sportage function admirably to keep this hybrid SUV contemporary against an updated Ford Escape and Toyota RAV4. The inside highlights fine materials on high-trim renditions, yet the base LX can feel somewhat shoddy. The Sportage is fueled by either a 181-pull 2.4-liter inline-4 or a 240-horsepower 2.0-liter. Front-wheel drive is standard and all-wheel drive is discretionary, joined in each arrangement to a 6-speed programmed transmission. In spite of the fact that marginally littler than a portion of its well-known rivals, for example, the Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4, the Sportage packs a lot of room for individuals and stuff with 31 cubic feet of load room behind the subsequent column and a little more than 63 squares with the back seats collapsed level. The Sportage is additionally come out and about for a standard hybrid, however the standard motor delivers an unpalatable commotion at maximum capacity. On account of Kia's trim level and alternative bundling, choosing a Sportage is as basic as picking the amount you need to pay and what shading you need it to be painted. Turbo and all-wheel drive models normally cost more, yet not restrictively so. For 2020, the Sportage increases dynamic path control, programmed crisis braking with person-on-foot location, programmed high-bar headlights. Vulnerable side screens are discretionary. Efficiency is one territory where the Sportage doesn't pile up. The thriftiest model is the base front-wheel drive Sportage at 26 miles per gallon joined, while the Turbo 4 drops that figure to only 21 miles per gallon joined with all-wheel drive. The 2020 Kia Sportage absolutely stands apart both all around, however the outside may not work for everybody. We give it 7 out of 10 generally for its sharp styling and tasteful inside. A long wheelbase and short shades consolidate to give the Sportage a planted look, and keeping in mind that all-wheel drive models have extra ground leeway at the guards for an increasingly rough look, we like the style of any Sportage, particularly after the Invigorate this year. New wheels give the Sportage an increasingly contemporary look, and the full-width taillight configuration is in vogue however unquestionably attractive. Chrome, LED pronunciations, and new aluminum impact slip plates check all the privilege boxes, and things improve inside. The Sportage's lodge is among the highest point of its group, with a spotless, European-looking plan that is overflowing with delicate touch materials and superb surfaces in many spots. The recently standard 8.0-inch touchscreen for infotainments becomes the dominant focal point and is flanked via air vents and underlined by excess catches. Sadly, this style comes to the detriment of outward vision, as the Sportage's columns are huge and removed a great deal of the view rearwards. While no games vehicle, the 2020 Kia Sportage is enjoyable to drive for a minimized hybrid gratitude to rigid dealing with indiscretionary turbo control. We give it 5 out of 10 for execution, yet turbo models would procure 6 out of 10. 2020 Sportage LX, S, and X trims come standard with front-wheel drive and a 2.4-liter inline-4 that makes 181 horsepower and 175 pounds-feet of torque. Another S trim includes energetic visual interest yet is matched with a base motor that is light on power and refinement however improves efficiency than the turbo. All-wheel drive is discretionary over the range, and a 6-speed programmed transmission is standard regardless of what's underhood. The top-level SX trim incorporates a 2.0-liter turbo 4 that makes a good 240 horsepower and 260 pounds-to-feet, giving it all that could possibly be needed snored for parkway passing moves. Notwithstanding trim, the Sportage is an equipped handler and has a made ride-over long separates, with a shockingly tranquil lodge. Sportage LX hybrids are the mildest gratitude to 17-inch wheels, yet X models are just marginally stiffer. The SX model has firmer springs, various dampers, and changed guiding for an alternate character to oblige its turbo control. It's energetic, yet just to a point. While all-wheel drive models get a modified front guard that builds ground freedom, this is no wilderness romper. The all-wheel drive framework performs satisfactorily in tricky conditions, yet with an efficiency punishment, so think about whether you truly need it before checking the crate. Kia makes an inside just as nearly anybody nowadays, and the 2020 Sportage's verification. With agreeable seats, good space for tenants and load, yet constrained back perceivability, we give it 7 out of 10. Indeed, even the base Sportage LX and S have a sprinkling of delicate touch surfaces that are pleasingly fastened down, while X and SX trims supplant the fabric upholstery with cowhide that feels better than its value section. A manual power driver's seat is standard with the choice for a 10-way control customizable form higher up the trim tree. Backseat travelers may feel somewhat claustrophobic with the Sportage's high belt line, however there's a lot of room for 2 grown-ups or 3 out of a squeeze. The Sportage additionally conveys strong freight space notwithstanding being littler than a portion of its rivals, with 31 cubic feet behind the back seats and a hair more than 63 D-shapes with them collapsed level. The lodge is surprisingly tranquil during ordinary driving, however the grate of the base motor at maximum capacity is both nosy and irritating. An exhaustive review of the company's progressively dynamic well-being tech for the 2020 Kia Sportage. For the time being, we rate the Sportage at 7 out of 10. It increases a point for top government appraisals and in light of the fact that dynamic security tech is standard. The government appraised both the front and all-wheel drive variants 5 stars generally speaking, however the model earned only 4 for the front driver's side and rollover tests. While the IT hasn't gotten to the 2020 model yet, the 2019 model got great appraisals all around less the headlights, which Kia have upgraded for 2020. We'd be amazed if that score doesn't improve. Dynamic well-being tech is standard no matter how you look at it. The 2020 Sportage companies, a rear-view camera, path flight admonitions, back cross-traffic cautions, programmed crisis braking, and dynamic path control. Vulnerable side screens are discretionary. The 2020 Kia Sportage keeps bundles and trim levels straightforward and is well prepared as standard, however the best highlights are put something aside for the most costly models. For its great standard infotainment and far and away superior guarantee, we give it 6 out of 10. The LX model gives the section to the Sportage lineup with its rear-view camera, 17-inch compound wheels, control highlights, and a 8.0-inch touchscreen infotainment framework with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity. Another S trim is next in the lineup and includes energetic styling and upholstery in addition to vulnerable side screens, however no more power or dealing with hacks. It's one we'd skip. The mid-grade X trim includes 18-inch wheels, double-zone atmosphere control, warmed front seats, a power driver's seat, vulnerable side screens, back cross-traffic alarm, calf skin, and an extra USB port. An extra bundle includes an all-encompassing moonroof, warmed directing wheel, LED inside lights, and that's only the tip of the iceberg, while the technology package includes Harman Kardon sound and root. We think a Sportage X is the brilliant purchase here, yet we'd hold back before including the choice bundles. The SX Turbo tops the range, with bounty more power from its supported motor, however in a lot more expensive rate than the LX. It's an average worth given its highlights and underhood muscle, in spite of the fact that it's exorbitant for a little hybrid SUV. All-wheel drive is discretionary over the range for an additional expense, and keeping in mind that it improves footing for those living in territories with tricky climate, the mileage punishment is critical. Kia's guarantee is incredible too, including 5 years or 60,000 miles packed in 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain inclusion. The 2020 Kia Sportage intrigues from numerous points of view, however mileage isn't one of them. We give it 4 out of 10 for its unremarkable mileage contrasted with opponents. The base Sportage is appraised at 23 miles per gallon city, 30 expressway, 26 joined with front-wheel drive and only 22/26 23 mile per gallon with all-wheel drive. Most opponents improve. The Sportage SX doesn't passage any better, overseeing 20/28 23 mile per gallon with front-wheel drive and an absolute embarrassing 19/24 21 mile per gallon with all-wheel drive. Ordinary unleaded fuel is required notwithstanding for turbo models, which should help lighten the punishment at the siphon marginally.